What's up, YouTube? Back with another car video. It's been a few months since I put this one online or put a video of it or whatever. Wanted to do a little backstory on the car to see how I came across it and how I got it to where it's at right now. I mean, it's not too much when you just look at it. Yeah, it's a car on rims, whatever, but it was actually a big deal for me to come across this car, buy it, register it, fix it, put the rims on, and yeah, it was just a process. It wasn't just buying the car, slapping the rims on, and I'm ready to go. This car was all stock when I got it. It's a 92 Mercury Grand Marquis. I came across it on the internet, and yeah, I was talking back and forth with the person who was selling the car for about a week or so, because the guy was out of town. So I'm sitting there going back and forth with this guy about this car, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, in the pictures of this car that I saw online were horrible looking pictures. Like, just looking at the pictures of the car, I didn't want it. Like, I just thought it was dope looking because it had a top. You know, I've always wanted this year car with a top on it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, why not go look at it, see what I think, then we'll make a move from there. So I ended up going with Dap Lincoln. Shout outs to Dap Lincoln. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got this car. So it was me, my daughter, Dap Lincoln. We went to go on the other side of the town I live in to go check this car out. As soon as we pull up to where she was parked at a church. She was parked at a church. We get out. As soon as I get out to run up on the car to look at it, I was in love. I couldn't believe that this car looked like this and it being so old. It's a 92 Mercury Grand Marquis. Yes, it doesn't look that old. It doesn't seem like it's that long ago, but it really was. This car's almost as old as I am. So we get there before the guy shows up. We're looking at the car. I'm like, yes. I don't care what it takes. I'm gonna get it. Like, just gonna have to try to get it for a good price. So the guy gets there, and he tells me that the car's not running or that something broke on it. That's why it's been parked there. He said that it had been parked there for at least a month, maybe even longer. I'm not too sure. So we turn the car over. We notice the belt's not spinning. The serpentine belt isn't spinning with the rest of the pulleys. And that's when Dap Link is like, yo, bro, what's going on with this? So I happened to look, and then the radiator was busted. The hose on it were busted. There was no way of fixing that. And then the belt tensioner was completely broken off. So there's no way for the belt to stay on there. And so we had to get this car towed. We had to get it towed from one end of my city to the other. And I was staying at apartments at the time. So I'm having this car dropped off that doesn't run. It won't move. Well, it'll move, but I have a great chance of messing up the motor or doing some real damage. It doesn't move, so I have it sitting there for a while, and I'm trying to save up parts and stuff. I had spare parts laying around from other cars, so I ended up putting some of those parts on to get it to run. Bought it a radiator, put the radiator in, and it was fine. It was fine for like the first 2 weeks of me putting all these parts onto this car. And then the power steering started leaking. So I'm changing the power steering pump, doing all that, replacing the pulley, all that. I even replaced the hoses, everything. And my dumb ass, instead of, I had been putting so much time, so much work, so much money into this car. I just wanted it to be over. You know, I wanted to drive it already. I wanted to get it ready for rims. So me being in a haste, I wasn't looking at what kind of fluid I was putting into the reservoir, because I had just bought some and I put it away, and where I put it away, I just went and grabbed whatever fluid was right there. I was like, it has to be that one. It has to be the one that I just bought. not knowing what I was putting into the reservoir for the power steering pump, I was putting in brake fluid. And I didn't notice until I was like, well, why is it that color? Isn't supposed to be like a reddish color almost? Or like a clear, like, no, it was. And then when I finally looked at the bottle, of what I was putting in, I was like, oh shit. So and mind you, I was running the car while I was pouring the shit in there. So I stopped what I'm doing and I turned the car off. I'm like, oh shit. I start to drain the power steering pump. I take out all the hoses, all that shit drains out. And I'm like, shit, man, maybe it didn't do too much damage. I don't know. That brake fluid is super corrosive, and I just put it into my power steering pump. So I'm like, shit, man, I hope it didn't do no real damage. I don't know what the fuck. So put everything back together, put the power steering fluid in, and she's fine. So I go to take my son to school maybe like 2 days later, and it had all just leaked out. All the fluid, everything just leaked out. So the car's steering was stiff as hell. So I can't take the car. Now. So what ended up happening was, I guess I did more damage than I thought, and I had to change the power steering gear. Mind you, if few people know what a power steering gear is and how much it takes to replace one, like even on this old ass car, it was expensive. So while I'm getting all this work done on this car, if you guys have kept up with me so far, okay, so far we've gone through all of this to just get it running right. Okay, I'm trying to deal with all this just to get it run right. I didn't have no rims on it yet, no system, nothing. I was just trying to get it to run. So while all this is going on and I'm trying to get this car right, I'm also trying to register it so that when it's ready, I don't have to worry about getting pulled over or none of that. So I'm looking into getting the car registered, and as I'm looking at the title on the car, someone else had signed it already. And if you guys know how that works, I don't know how it works in you guys' state or whatever, but in Texas, if you get a title and somebody's name is already on it, that person has to register it before they sell it to you. Okay? So I tracked down the guy who sold me the car, and I'm asking him, like, hey man, did you sign this title? And he says, no, I didn't. I bought it from this guy, and as soon as I bought it, that thing happened to the radiator. And so long story short, I had to hire someone to track the original owners of this car. I had to hire someone to find them, track them down, ask them to sign a paper saying that me, or I guess my people, can get a hold of the title with their name on it so that it would come to their door. So they went and did that. I got the car registered, of course. When I tell you this, guys, like, this car was so much work, so much time, so much money right off the jump. As soon as I got this car, I didn't even get to drive it a day, nothing. Like, as soon as I bought it and brought it home, I knew it was going to come with problems, but I didn't know the extent of it. Okay, so yes, there was points of me working on this car like, fuck this shit, I don't want to do it anymore. I fucked over my money. Like, that's how I was feeling, you guys. This car wasn't no little $1,000 investment, throw rims on it and that's it. No, this is not that, guys. This is not that. This car right here meant a lot to me when I first came across it. When I first drove this car, I was about 21 years old. About there. That's the first big body I ever drove, and it was this car right here. It didn't have a top on. It didn't have a nice paint job. The fucking interior wasn't even leather. I think I left off with 22s on that car. But I always told myself, if I ever came across it again, I'm gonna get that car, and I'm gonna get it the way I want it, with a top, with leather, the digital dash, all that. And when I came across this one, guys, look at it. See if I can get a little. The paint, I'm not really too sure if the paint's original or not, or if they had it redone. But look at that. It's still got metallic in it. The top, look at the top. I know they got the top done because this is crooked, and on the other side it's missing. So I know for sure they got the top redone. The original owners of this car. Look at the top, 92. Almost a 30-year-old car. Look at the top. Now the interior is all original. The interior is all original. Look at that. Look at the leather. It's just different. It's just different. I love all Panther style bodies, all years. But these old school ones, these years, like the early 90s ones, they're just different. I don't know what it is about them. They're just made different. Like, I don't know. To me, they are. Like, I've gotten really familiar with these cars, especially this year. Like I said, that's the one I started off in. So that motor is really what started me on my way with V8s and with Ford and just riding slabs and big rims. Like, ever since I got one of these cars, I have not stopped riding big rims. Why? Because it just makes the car look better. Yes, it's an old school car, and yes, it's not all new with all the new stuff on it. But you know what? That's what makes us different. That's what makes us stand out. That's what makes me different from others. And I love that shit. I love that shit, man. Real quick on the suspension, the rims, the system. I'll just talk a little bit about that. 26s. As far as suspension goes, just knuckles. Try to squeeze in those knuckles in there. I don't know if you can see them. Just knuckles in the front, 2 on each side, and in the back I got the coil boosters from AutoZone. The shock is an F-150 shock. The F-150 shock, but it's not the best one. It's alright. I mean, it's good for now. I want to get the air shocks, but just need to save up money for that. The system, it's got like a little 15. Nothing too crazy, but I will tell you this. Shit, I do have a little competition box that I came across, and that 15 in this box quakes. I'm talking about quakes. It's so hard. The Rockford amp, Rockford Fosgate 1200, the Mofo 15. Try to do nothing but power acoustic mofos as far as subwoofers in my car, only because they're a good price and they hit hard. So you're getting what you pay for with those. And then as far as the system, it's all stock. I got like 2 extra speakers in the back. You can't really see them though. They're under the little carpet back there. My end dash. This one was cool about doing this one. Shit. When I did it, I had to basically cut all this right here. All this stuff I had to cut, and then behind there's like a plate back here. And I went ahead and cut that so that I could fit that in there. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool. It was fun. It's always cool, fucking around with your cars. I suggest if you're gonna get into this kind of style, you invest a lot of time into thinking about what it is you're gonna want to see out of it, how you're gonna get there, and like I said, the time is really what's gonna, make you or break you. Because I done been through a lot of these cars. Don't get me wrong. I love this one. I love my black one and my candy one. But I've had others. I've had Crown Vics and other Lincolns and stuff that I just put money in, and then after a while, I just didn't like the outcome or what was happening. So you had to pull out. Had to cut my losses. And yes, like I tell you, with every car that you try to invest time into, just remember that Like, make sure it's something that you want to see yourself in, or it's gonna be something you're trying to flip or whatever. For me, it's the long runs. Like I don't know if I would sell these cars, probably if it came to it, but like that doesn't really cross my mind to sell these cars. The Cutlass on this side getting worked on too. Finally put the front end together. Trying to get this thing to start, but man, it's been sitting for so long. Probably gonna have to take this one to a shop too, get it worked on so that it just turns over, but it's all there. Just put the fenders and the front clip, everything's there. So as soon as this one starts running, guys, I'm gonna do the video, maybe do a little drive around, see how it drives on the big ass rims. Plus the fact that it's got hydraulics in it. Still got the hydraulics in it, but it's got big rims, so you guys stay tuned for that one. But anyways, guys, sorry this took so long. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Hit me back if you got any questions about anything, suspensions, the cars, the rims, anything you guys need help on. Feel free to ask me, and if there's something I can do or a video you guys want me to do as far as like working on the car, I'm gonna do the suspension on the Lincoln once I get it back. So I'm gonna try to do the video on that. I need to get a camera though. But yeah, you guys, let me know what y'all think. Hit me up. Peace.